Hi, I'm Cooper.
And I'm Daniel.
And we're with Long Branch Co. Today we're going to be staging a 3-bed, 2-bath duplex here at the Ridge at Rhones Quarter.
Let's take a look inside.
So every house that we stage, we always like to have like a nice little scene as soon as you walk through the door. So if you look over here, we have this nice little entryway table with this nice, beautiful gold lamp, and we've accented it with more gold in the mirror.
So with the mirror, we wanted something more organically shaped, something different, because we have a tendency of doing either round or square. So when we saw this mirror at our local home store, Cooper and I decided that it was a better idea to give it more of organic shape and texture than just a simple round mirror.
So when we originally bought this lamp, it actually had a completely different shade. It was more of a square, kind of a off yellow shade. It looked okay, but it looked dated. So we opted to go for this kind of white, rounded shade, thinking that it would give it more of a more modern look.
And with the texture.
Oh, the texture as well really helps tie everything in. We think that we're gonna change it for a more yellow bulb because this white is a little too harsh, and I think it dulls out the gold tones that we have throughout this area.
And it also affects the lighting in the room, I think.
It does. Like, we have like a lot of like yellow and warm tones throughout this house. Like all of the can lights are more yellow, but then this is like the only white light. So I think if we just change the bulb here, and then once we add our runner that we have ordered, it'll really bring this whole area together.
I think so too. And then we can put some books on bottom of that ball. Then that'll add a little.
Yeah, I think so too, because that ball by itself, it's pretty, but it just...
That makes sense.
It needs a little something.
Yeah.
So I guess you could say this area just really isn't set in stone.
I don't think none of the house is set in stone. We have a lot of work to do.
Well, it was a joke because it's a stone ball. I'm here all week.
He'll be here all week. Okay, we're in the living room now, and we're gonna talk a little bit about the art that we use for the properties that we stage and our personal properties. We have a very good friend of ours. Her name is That's a Kid. She's a very, very talented artist in town. She has done big pieces around the city, like the Eyes of Tyler or the Wings of Tyler. But we have the privilege of her being our very, very close friend, and she works with us to get the feel of what we do with the furniture, with the textures, with the colors and everything. So this piece, for example, ties in throughout the house. But as we go along, you're gonna see some of these colors pop with the decor of the house.
We have her art literally throughout the house, so most of the areas have her pieces in it. So over here, we wanted to put 2 to 3 pieces that we thought could really accent this wall. So we opted for this white and this black number, kind of to juxtapose the more colorful stuff on the opposing wall. But the reason we really liked these pieces here is because of the texture. If you really look forward, you can see that she had built texture on top of texture, which really, really helps tie in a lot of the furniture that we're using in this room. We're gonna have this blue velvet sofa over here, kind of a lower back Chesterfield style, but this blue velvet really inspired us to use velvet throughout the entire house. So almost every single major area is gonna have a touch of velvet somewhere in it.
We love playing with textures, like Cooper said. These chairs have some velvet. They're not solid velvet. It's more of a mixed velvet with different texture here.
Yeah, like if you actually like rub your hands across it, it's not one smooth surface.
I think it has some silk.
Yeah.
We're also waiting for a rug to get here. It's gonna be more of a green, blue.
It's gonna primarily be green. It's gonna be a little more ornate in design because a lot of what we have in here are very solid in the name of pattern. So
Exactly.
Solid white, solid black, solid blues. So kind of having a more ornate surface on the bottom will really help brighten up the room, but also give it more depth.
And we love carrying out, things that from other rooms to the next one, kind of like a connection. So you saw the ball in the first room. We have another ball here, kind of to like carry out through, make an organic transition from one room to the other.
For sure. One of my favorite things is honestly like tchotchkes, knickknacks, like little things that can just go on like tabletops or catch-alls. And so whenever we go to estate sales, thrift stores, things like that, we always kind of keep an eye out for it. And so we actually really lucked out because we found this old Tyler yearbook. And so for people moving here, just seeing this is like eye-catching. You know,
Who's Becky Ross?
No, irregardless, just the fact that you have like a really active Tyler landmark here has people feeling, oh, the people who did this and who staged this place are local. And that's kind of what we care about, is that local touch.
And also that legacy, right? Like we like things that have this history behind them, like you just mentioned.
Yeah.
You know, these came from a estate sale. We don't know where exactly the person had them or what memories they had in these chairs. So we also like the history behind things. This table also came from estate sale.
Yeah, we like to usually get pieces that kind of have a history with them. For one, just because, you know, they're lived in, they feel warm, you can kind of feel that energy, but also because reduce, reuse, recycle. We really like
Absolutely.
to give pieces as much of a life as they possibly can.
Yes.
So you'll actually see like a lot of the pieces that we use are in our own personal home or things from our personal collection that we'll just swap out and play with just to fit whatever space it is that we're decorating.
As we transition to the kitchen, you will notice that this house is a very open concept.
So here in the kitchen, we really like to keep things simple because a lot of the houses that we stage are new builds or are very, very newly made. So people are going to be leasing, buying, or renting from these people. Well, almost all of them include their appliances, refrigerators, stoves, microwaves, and we really don't want to detract away from those things. So we really like to just do tchotchkes, knickknacks, and just little things to just make it feel warm and lived in. So like over here, we have just these little guys. We're thinking we could put business cards, little mints, things that the people can grab on their way out, because this is probably the door they're going to use. But we also like to include like coffee makers, teacups, coffee mugs, things like that in all of our properties.
We're gonna put this in here for now to see how it looks.
I'm thinking that maybe we could like leave this here, a bottle of wine, something
yeah.
like that. Something just to kind of make it seem like, oh, I could just sit down after a long day of work, have a little glass with, you know, family member, husband, wife, whatever, and just unwind.
Yes, I agree with that. We try to make everything match between the art that we have going on. If you notice, we had in the living room, those side tables were this color green and the couch is this color blue. So we carried that out, and also our wine glasses are blue. So we try to do that so we create cohesiveness throughout the house.
Yeah, and I think that the really bright colors like throughout here will really pop really nicely against some of the more neutral colored furniture pieces.
And the warmth of the table, I like
Yeah,
that.
so this table here at the top, it's dark, but it actually has a little bit of warmth coming through it. And I really like that because it just warms up the space and it picks up those yellow lights a lot easier. Now we're in the primary suite, which is the larger bedroom in the duplex. We found this really nice neutral headboard here that we thought would really like help bring out any colors or any pops of anything that we add throughout the house. When it comes to staging, we don't get real mattresses, we actually get air mattresses. They're easier to store, they're easier to pack, and they actually add a little bit more of a fluff, you can say, to the bed. So that way it looks fuller and you don't have to necessarily worry about hauling a big heavy mattress anywhere. This piece is another Dotsa Kid. It's stunning, it's beautiful, it's that neutral because we're adding some really, really interesting colors in here that help make it a little more exciting. So over here we have this really pretty piece sitting on this pretty couch.
Thank you. Oh, that's so sweet. Yes, so let's talk about this piece here. These, we're incorporating the velvet that we talked about earlier. This piece, it's a little bit more ornate. That's why the rest of the room is a little bit more simple. You know, you don't want to make it look super, super ornate and put a fancy couch and a fancy headboard and a fancy painting. You kind of want to balance. It's all about balance.
So over here is 2 other bedrooms as well as the bathroom. But we're kind of doing something a little bit different with this space rather than just doing 2 bedrooms. We can explain that in a second, but why don't we start over here with the bedroom.
This is the secondary bedroom. We have another That's a Kid painting that carries that green, blue, but also we like to add a pop of color throughout the house. It has that yellow. Our bedding is yellow, and it just makes sense. We love us a yellow.
So the yellow color in here really inspired us to, instead of doing like a guest room or like a larger bed, to instead do two twins, kind of like a kid's room. You know, it can be for anybody, but we really liked playing with that youthful kind of yellow, and that inspired us to do two twin beds in here. Originally, we had already purchased the frame for a queen bed, but luckily, when it comes to these Amazon bed frames, the queen is actually just comprised of two twins that you just screw together. So luckily, you can just use one of these queens to make just the two twin bed frames. So we were in luck. We didn't have to go out and get anything new. We didn't have to return anything. And this can be used in multiple different ways for future staging projects. So right across the way over here is the other bedroom. Now earlier I said that we were gonna do something a little different with this space, and what we're doing is we're actually gonna make this into an office. So instead of having two different bedrooms, we wanted to show how versatile this duplex can be. So instead of doing your standard queen bed or your standard twin beds like we did on the other side, we're gonna do an office space to show that you can like work from home and that this is just a good, nice place to just do whatever it is you need to do.
And honestly, these bedrooms are very spacious. So you could play with them. You can make, it makes a great playroom. It makes a great TV room if you want to. Some people don't like having TV like us. We don't like having TVs in the living room. So if you wanted to do that, you could do that in this room as versatile as this.
With the offices, we usually like to keep things on the simple side. Usually we just do like a simple desk, a simple table even with a tablecloth, just right in the middle of the room, just to kind of like show the space off more than anything. And then from there, we usually put one or two pieces on the wall. We usually like to put like a nicer chair or something. And then we usually just put like a computer, a little tchotchke, a globe or something like that there. So for instance, here we have this more ornate chair.
Velvet too.
Yeah, it's velvet, so it ties in that velvet throughout the house.
Yes.
But this is actually the sister chair to the purple settee that is in the primary bedroom. And because kind of like in the bedroom, a lot of the tones in here are either richer, darker, or more neutral, we wanted to add a fun pop of color with this painting here, another That's a Kid. So it's been a few days since we last filmed. Everything we've ordered has come in, including these beautiful green rugs. And we can officially say that we're 100% done with this property. So we are now ready for our first open house.
Thank you for joining us in the latest Long Branch Co project. We hope you enjoyed just as much as we did.
We look forward to having you join us on our next adventure. But in the meantime, remember to keep doing things the
The Long Branch way.